Hi there, and welcome to the next video in the series. So in this lesson, we're going to go through the entity relationship diagram of the employees database. It's always a good idea to look at these diagrams if you have one available. It just shows you all the different tables in the database and how they're related to each other. It's just beneficial so that you understand what the data looks like, especially if you're going to be writing SQL queries. So you can find this diagram on the MySQL website. So we just type in MySQL employees database like we did last time. Let's go to the first link, and this is going to take us back to the documentation. So we're going to come down here to 5, employees structure, and here's the schema, or the entity relationship diagram, and you can see it provides a lot of information. So each one of these diagrams represents an entity, which is also just a table in the database. And for example, if we look at employees, we can see all the different attributes in the employee table. So we have things like the employee number, birth date, first name, and so on. But what it also shows you is which attribute is the primary key. So in the employees table, we can see that the employee number is the primary key, which is shown by this yellow key. The other thing it shows you is the data type that it takes on. So for example, employee number takes on an integer, and it takes on the size of 11 digits. The birth date is a date data type, and so on. The other thing that this diagram shows you is the relationship between the different entities. So if we look at employees, we can see that it has a many-to-many relationship to departments. And because you can't directly model a many-to-many relationship, you have to create this intermediate table. So here this is just department employee table, and we can see that it's related to the employees tables by having a one-to-many. So a one-to-many relationship between employees and the department employee table, as well as a one-to-many from departments to department employee table. And what happens when you make this intermediate table is that it actually creates a composite key, or also known as a primary key, made up of 2 foreign keys. So the foreign key employee number is just a foreign key to the employee number in the employees table, and the same thing with the department number here is just a foreign key to the primary key in the departments table. So again, that these foreign keys make up a composite key, or the primary key of this table. There's a similar relationship going down here. It's just showing you which employee was a manager of which department. These 2 tables over here, titles and salaries, is just a one-to-many relationship. So one employee could have many salaries, and you can see that the primary key is in the from date. So an employee could have a salary of, whatever on one year, and then they get a raise and they have a different salary in a different year, or they get a promotion or whatever. Same thing with the titles. So this is actually a pretty simple diagram. It only has 6 tables. So obviously they can be more complicated than this, but I'd argue that it's a good idea to kind of give one of these a read over, especially if you're going to be writing SQL queries. You won't always have access to this, so I'll show you a way in Python to kind of get similar information as well. So I hope you find that helpful.